Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our sponsor, Chris Wootton. The Wootton Financial Group is our sponsor, and we ask you to be sure and listen to the spot that Chris does at the end of the show. It's so cool. You'll get to know Chris and get to know all the things that he does. And he was on our show the other day. He is so good. He's so calming. He's so, he makes you filled with confidence. Richard just got the mic and is putting it in front of him, so this is scaring me. What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong?
Nothing. I was just getting ready.
Okay.
Getting ready.
Okay, well, I thought I said something wrong.
Well,
but Chris Wootton is...
You can find all his contact information in the description below on Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, irlonestar.com/TCCS for the Cindy Cochran Show.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what a voice.
Yeah.
What a voice you have. But I did want to say that if you are getting ready to retire, you want to retire, or you just start making some money and you just want to know what to do with it and what would be a good thing to invest in or whatever, then that's what you need is a financial planner.
Beanie Babies.
What? You need
buy Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Right? That's still a thing.
That's a great idea. Don't listen to Richard.
Yeah.
See, that's why they have that.
That's why they have Chris, who helps you financially
They have the
plan.
disclosure at the end of the commercials, like anything Cindy says that might be, making you feel like she's suggesting it or we suggest it. Don't listen to Cindy. So that's why that's a very important spot that they have.
Well, I told you the disclaimer at the show should say Cindy's a total liar, and do not listen to any opinion she gives because she could be lying.
Shut up, Richard.
But she's not a thief. But she is not a thief.
The love in this room is amazing right now.
Tommy boy, I've been wanting to capture that statement where he goes, "Shut up, Richard," and be able to punch a button every time he says something stupid. But I'm not I taught him the sign for liar. You can just sit there and keep doing this while you think that something I'm saying is lying. And of course, he's still fact-checking me. Checking me. F-A-C-T. Why does that sound so much like he's fact-checking me? But
I thought you were offended because I had a scale before you walked in. And I was like, you told me I had to fact-check you.
Oh, my goodness.
But I guess I misunderstood.
I love you so much, Richard.
Totally misconstrued it.
I love you, Richard. And who else? Is there any other host that brings you sandwiches from Subway?
I mean, people bring me food all the time.
Oh, that is not true.
Even home-cooked food.
That's not true. Yeah. Who does that?
I can't tell you.
Because then you might step up your game.
Oh, yeah. I have to step up
I'm very
my
grateful for you, Cindy.
Thank you. You better be. No, because...
Well, who's your guest?
I want to be happy. I'm just letting her just float along. And
when people are hearing her voice.
I have been talking about you and can't wait for you to be here. And she's I've known her so long that she was little.
I was 13.
And we could, yell at you because you were little and making you do something. You're not doing the right thing. But now she's a grown woman, and she has...
I have a grown baby,
She has two children.
I have an 18-year-old now.
18 years old.
Yeah, she's same age as
Age as Samuel. Yes.
They're
Okay, so
graduating
let me tell them your name.
Okay.
This is Brianna Dunahoe, and she is amazing. And so we're going to get into her story, and you will be inspired, uplifted, and know more about fantasy football than you ever wanted to know, because Brianna is the expert. And the guys at her work will come to her and say, "Brianna, come on, give me the scoop. What do you think I should do? What,
Not anymore. I work with a bunch of ladies now.
Now you're working with all women, and they don't care.
They don't care about baseball. Either.
Oh no, they don't like the Astros. She's in a new job now.
It's not that they don't like them; they just don't understand it yet.
Oh no, that's horrible.
I know.
Because how are you going to listen to the games?
I still listen to the games.
They were 3-0 when I was driving in.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still ahead?
They're still ahead.
Okay, they're beating the Cardinals.
Yes, they're playing the Cardinals today.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, Sam and I have been so obsessed with them, but as soon as the games were over, we just looked at each other like,
What do we do now?
okay, I'm gonna go to the kitchen now and try and learn how to cook again. And he goes, I don't know what to do with myself now. This is ridiculous. But we were so obsessed with him. But he's obsessed with the U of H, the Cougars.
Baseball, basketball, football.
Basketball, because they are now like they're going to be in the
They're
finals,
like 5
whatever.
Slamma days. Like they're
They're
kicking
being
butt and taking
recognized.
names. Yeah.
They're being recognized, and I love it because always people. I just always had the feeling everybody's making fun of our teams. Now they could do that with the Rockets right now, but
Yeah, that's okay. And the Texans, but
But-
I'm excited about the Texans this year.
you are.
Yeah.
You are the only one.
That is not a true statement.
No.
No.
It's-
We're starting to be like the Dallas Cowboys fans that, this could be our year kind of thing. But
Famous last
I know.
words.
But I'm really excited about our new coach. And I mean, he was a player. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Brianna, this is what I want you to do.
Okay.
I want you to back the chair up and get up in the chair and pull the chair so it comes up. Otherwise, you look like you're about 10 years old talking. And so, I'm sorry. Did I mess up did you take her
No.
off the screen?
Is that better?
Yes.
see me now?
Now, see? Yeah, that's what you. I'll come in here and I'll sit down and go. No, now okay. Now you look like a grown up. Thank you very much. Now, your
feel tall
word will be
now.
more respected now.
Yeah, whatever.
She does that for every guest to be, to have
She
a power
starts
move.
them out
Yeah, it's
starts them out low to the ground. I
I'm
get it.
giving.
I
them
want to look
the-
down on you.
I'm giving you the power, and I love these mics
it's
are
like-
so great. They're great for covering up double chin. It's just wonderful. I love sitting like this, because otherwise you have to talk like this, so you don't look so. But you have to wear your hair.
So funny.
Anyway, it was great. So I am so happy for you to be here. Now we got to talk about the Astros and when is their first real game? They're just these
At
are
the end of March. It's like March 31st is opening
March
day.
31st.
Yeah, right now it's just spring training.
It's just spring training. So
And then in the middle of spring training, we have the World Baseball Classic, which I'm super excited about.
now what is that? What's that?
So each of the countries have baseball teams,
Oh, right.
and they do a tournament of the countries, kind of like soccer, but with baseball. And so like all of our guys, we have like 17 guys that are playing for other countries in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, so it's a fun way to get all the different.
Now, why are they playing for another team though?
They're playing for their home country.
Think of it as the
Oh,
World
their
Cup.
home country.
Think
Yeah,
of it like
like-
the World Cup of baseball.
Yeah, like
Yeah, okay,
Altuve's
so-
playing for Venezuela instead of the U.S. because
How
he
cute.
grew up in Venezuela.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, that's great. So where do they ascend to the winners? Where do they go to?
What? What do you
She
mean?
has it right
like
here.
how they win. Like how do
Like-
they win? Like where
no,
are they playing?
Is there a
There's a
final
trophy.
place?
There's a
that-
trophy.
There's a trophy.
Oh,
This is not the first time they've done this.
Oh, okay.
Think of
They
it
do
as,
it like every 4 years, like
yeah.
soccer.
Think of it as the World Cup, but for baseball.
Okay.
So it's a tournament.
Okay.
So it starts and stops. It's not like a year-round thing. It's just like,
But we don't want any of our guys getting hurt doing one of these things, do we?
well, what do you think soccer players do when they go to the World Cup?
They play for their home
Yeah.
countries,
Yeah.
not their teams.
Well, it just seems like it's pretty dangerous to have them out
It's fine.
playing.
It's fine.
Okay.
They'll be fine.
You're sure?
They're
Okay.
professionals.
Okay. Thank you.
They'll be fine.
I feel so much better now.
But Carlos Correa is not playing because he doesn't want to give anybody any incentive to not think that his ankle would be okay.
Oh, how funny.
Don't even get me started on him.
Well, yeah, and I
Yeah.
do know some teams do have a say, depending on like a Carlos Correa kind of thing. It's like, you are injury prone. We don't want you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're just recovering from XYZ. We don't want you going.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, makes sense. I mean, if I'm paying all those guys and they're getting ready to start the season, I don't want them getting injured before.
Like LMJ's not playing. Lance McCullers Jr. is not playing because he's still rehabbing his arm and he's having tightness and soreness, and so he's
always injured.
Who's our best pitcher?
Christian Javier.
Javier. He was the one. He didn't close.
No, that's
No.
Presley.
He's not a
That's
closer.
Presley,
Okay.
who I love. But Javier is the one that had the shutout of the
Oh,
Yankees.
yes.
Yeah, I think he also had the.
The combined shutout of.
Well, no, there was a. I forgot. I just totally went blank. It's basically you have to pitch so many innings to get this certain type of stat, and it's like a. It's like if you pitch 6 innings and you didn't give up runs, you get like a thing. So he pitched like 23 consecutive of this.
innings, yeah.
I forgot what it was. Let me look it up.
Shutout baseball, not shutout baseball. It's
He'll find that out very quickly.
Find out the stats.
Yes.
Fact check us, please.
Do a fact check up. Whenever the Astros are on, and
It's quality starts.
Yes,
I think that's what it is.
like 26 of them last year,
Yeah.
which is unheard of.
so when the Astros start playing again, and now where do you watch them? What do you watch them on?
So normally I watch them at home, but I don't know what's going. Have you heard about this whole FSN
Yeah,
Fox
yeah,
Sports Net thing that's going on? I'm kind of freaking out
I
because
know it's scaring me.
we pay for Fubo. Like, we don't have AT&T or anything. We pay for Fubo to be able to watch the Astros every game. And if they don't have a home,
yeah,
where are we going to watch them? And then on top of that, if they go to the MLB network, then Jeff Blum and the other guy that announces with him and Julia, what are they going to do?
yeah. See that's messed up because
They're the on-air team at Fox Sports Net. So what are they going to do? They just all re-signed contracts.
yeah, that's going to be strange.
Yeah.
But I tell you, where you watch
We're
them,
gonna figure it out before opening days, like this month.
I know.
yeah,
So
but
it's not like they didn't know this was going to happen.
Right. It's annoying though. Like,
So-
let's put some finality in things. We need to know where we need to be switching to so that we
now
can watch our team.
next Thursday, a week from today, we're going to have Andrew Yusey and his wife Angela, and Angela works with sports.
Oh, here we go. Let's watch
Now
her
wait,
figure this
yeah,
out.
wait,
No, wait.
not
We got
Barnaby
it. What do
Sports.
we-
It starts with a
You
B.
say Barnaby?
Yeah, it starts.
Is
with
there a
B.
Barnaby Sports?
No, it starts with a B.
Well, you'll figure it out. It's next
No,
Thursday, right?
No, wait, no.
You got a week to figure it
Got a
out,
whole
Cindy.
week.
I gotta-
7 whole days.
I gotta practice.
That's hilarious.
The sports. It's
It's probably Bally if I had to guess.
Bally Sports. I want to go Bally.
But I figured that's more of a North Texas thing, though. I could be wrong.
No, she is the one that when things happen and with like the programs going on, they're playing the game and all that, and it goes down.
She's got the red phone.
She's got the red phone, and they
Yeah.
bring her in to work it out. And he said, I've got all kind of connections with the Astros and the Texans, everybody.
That's good.
So she comes on. We're gonna have to say,
We need
all right,
tickets.
where?
One,
we need tickets.
and how are we going to work
Why does
this
everyone
out?
always assume you get tickets from people? This is like
Because-
the third time this week. Someone's like, "Oh, you know this person that works like a hot dog stand? Can you get us tickets?"
Everybody.
Well,
does that.
And I'm like,
Chad,
how do you expect these people
my-
to have access to, like, where do these tickets come from?
My son
You would
Chad.
be amazed how many Astros tickets are floating around
Yeah.
if you just
Oh, no,
say,
like,
I want Astros
No,
tickets.
okay, there's a private story, and I apologize to Holly. So before I met Holly, I was seeing a girl who was a person who worked for the Texans, and when she told me their system of getting tickets, because she's like, "You want tickets?" And I was like, "I don't really like football, but if you're gonna be there, sure." Because every time I go Sunday, I get random seats. Like one time, I got like on the 50-yard line at like the first seat,
Right.
and then one time I'm in the nosebleeds, and then one time in this
Just
private
whatever's
suite.
available.
And,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, there's just a pool, and then when it comes to like Thursday, they open the pool because they know who's not going to be there for their sponsored or for their vendors or something
Right.
like that. And I was like, so you're telling me people willingly spend $150 for a ticket, and I'm getting one for free, and it's just kind of like, yeah, anyone could do this, but you have to be like working with an organization,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
You have to have a connection.
because they
in
can't
somewhere.
sell the ticket, like they can't sell those tickets, so they can't make money from it. But I got to, I saw every home season game for a year.
Yeah.
For free,
ridiculous.
and I didn't even care about football. I was like, "This is kind of cool," and
well,
then because Texans
it's
suck.
It's yeah.
They will
We
be
apologize
better.
to Holly for that.
They will be better.
Oh, Holly loves to remind me how she can't do that, and I was like, "Well, you're the best thing in the world, so it doesn't even matter."
But you're an That's so sweet.
Good job.
But you're
Good
an
job.
RN. You can give me a shot anytime. That's just.
I don't trust-
She just became an RN.
Yeah, I told her I only
proud
trust
of
her
her.
with the vaccine. Yeah, I think he's listening. I
you
think
wanna come in?
Oh, he's coming in.
He's gonna come in. Okay. Are you coming in?
You want me to?
Did you hear me talk about you?
I heard Dick talk about quality starts.
Yeah, it's
I think it was 35 innings.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
And I said, your wife
Okay.
works for Barnaby Sports. It starts with a B. What's the Barnaby?
It's Bally's.
Valley.
So I'm upstairs in my office scrolling through Facebook, getting the city's Facebook site up to date, and I come across this show, and I hear you trying to talk about Barnaby Sports. And I'm listening. I'm like, I better go down there.
Better go help her. Please let me help her.
I better go down there. It's Bally Sports. So my
Bally
wife
Sports.
is she's very affected by what's going on with the Arsons right now. She is the director of media distribution, which is
yeah.
what is being affected.
Right, and that's what I was explaining
trying.
her job.
Yes.
Cindy,
and
will
how
you- who's in the
important her
studio?
job is. What?
Introduce.
I'm getting ready to introduce him
Okay.
right now, but he kept
Oh,
talking.
no, I'm sorry.
Andrew Yusey. This is Brianna Dunahoe. This is like #1 fan of Astros.
I saw your title that Dick puts up there. You don't see it right now, but on the
Yeah.
internet,
Oh, on
it's
the
there.
internet.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me listen for a minute.
And Andrew's our public information officer.
For the city of Conroe.
I was with the Astros for the past 10 years with the broadcast team.
Can you get us tickets?
Well, we don't know. We don't know if they'll be playing. So you guys brought up a good point, and the reason I came down here is because I want to make sure that you have the clear information on what is happening with the RSNs and what is
Okay,
happening
oh,
with the
good.
Astros.
Okay.
Because this isn't good.
Oh.
And it's not just the Astros. It's the Astros, the Rockets.
Yes. So first of all, to answer your question, Jeff Blum and Todd Callis are employees of the Houston Astros. They are not employees of the AT&T Sportsnet.
Okay, good.
So they, however the Astros broadcast the games, most likely will still have Jeff Blum and Todd Callis. Julia Morales is an employee of AT&T Sportsnet, so her fate lays within the hands of AT&T.
That makes me so sad.
But that doesn't mean that the Astros wouldn't
Pick her
bring Julia over to continue her responsibilities as the on-field reporter. That's all contingent on who distributes those games.
Right.
If Apple distributes the games, they might have their own plans. That's what everyone, yeah.
I am not excited about that possibility.
No, well,
because I
there's
did
so many.
not
There's
like
a
their
lot of
people.
possibilities right now. But what we know probably to be true is there will not be an AT&T Sportsnet.
Right.
And this has been in the makings for a while, because I was still there when Warner Brothers Discovery acquired AT&T,
Right.
and they had no intentions of rebranding them. So they're still AT&T Sportsnet merchandise and logos everywhere, even though we have nothing to do with AT&T anymore, or we had nothing to do with AT&T anymore. So that was in the makings. But what's happening here, what I've been trying to explain to everyone, as you look at Manny Machado signed this mega multi-gazillion dollar deal with the San Diego Padres. And that kind of sets the bar higher. But it's not just Manny Machado, it's sports in general, where one player will sign a really high deal, and that sets the precedence for other players. And that's what Carlos Correa went out there looking for. So when Machado signed that huge deal with the Padres, Carlos Correa went out there thinking, I'm every bit as, and I think Correa is probably better than Machado. I would put Correa up there as a player, athlete, hitter, fielder.
No, but his name, Machado. Oh my word!
I got hit by a foul ball by Manny Machado.
Oh, Machado hit
Yeah,
you?
he hit me.
That's a bruise.
And I was taking a picture. And I tell the story. I've been hit by two people, Xander Bogaerts and Manny Machado. And I was taking the picture because when you're photographing the games, you're right down there on the field. And I was snapping the camera. He was at bat, and just, as soon as he, I'm timing it, and I felt it. And I was like, wow, that was fast. But yeah, so I got hit. But he was like, you all right?
He did?
Yeah. Anyway, going back to it, when the media rights that the RSNs are playing the teams, in many cases, that's 60% of the team's income. So what the Astros, we're going to use the Astros as an example here. The Astros are getting 60% of their income from the AT&T, the RSNs. And that's everywhere. That's all the teams. So that's largely what's paying a lot of those high player salaries. You can have your parking, your concessions, your tickets, merchandise, all that stuff. You have to have those media rights deals to really field good players, unless you have owners like the Yankees who can purchase those players. So, in short, to make this Barney style, to break this down Barney style, in
Richard's
short,
so embarrassed.
if the teams lose their media rights deals, which is what is happening right now, they're going to struggle to maintain the payments for those big name players. So teams like the Pirates are right now looking at, we're going to have to start cutting some of the weight from our organization if we're losing, because the AT&T has the Pirates, the Rockies, and the Astros. The Seattle Mariners, which is an AT&T Sportsnet region, are part owned by T-Mobile, so they're not affected by this. But so the media rights deals are, they're going to become very dangerous, and right now no one knows what's going on. My wife is in meetings all day, every day, and they're looking at all these different
scenarios.
potentials. And what happened was this was a perfect storm, and my wife explains it the best, and she said, there are two things at play here, and number one is Netflix, and number two is high player contracts, is what it has brought us to this period of baseball broadcasting.
Oh, no.
Because Netflix, they were the first to start out with the distribution of content. Mm-hmm. They had Disney shows, they had HBO shows, Warner shows. They had, Netflix started out where you could download anything, watch it, stream it. Well, they didn't have any deals in place. They were just streaming content. What they needed to do was put contracts in place saying that now these rights are ours, we'll pay you. Or I don't know exactly how they had it, but they didn't have the rights because when streaming became popular, all these organizations were like, well, hold on now.
Disney's
want our,
like, where's my cut?
Yeah, we want our stuff back. So Netflix, who was not owned, but they started this, and then HBO wants their stuff back. Disney wants their stuff back, and then all these. What are some other ones that Yellowstone's on?
Yeah, Peacock.
Yeah, Peacock. All of them. Apple. They're all trying to come up with their own programming, so they want to sell their app. So all the people that are unplugging their cable and saying, "I'm just going to get the app," they're the ones that are causing this. Not that it's a bad thing, but what's happening is with the RSNs, all of a sudden they're trying to go to the streaming world. And my wife will tell you next Thursday. Well, I don't know how much she'll be able to talk about, but I'm going to tell you what I've overheard.
Oh, good. Okay.
She talks to herself, and I listen.
Sleep.
What's happening is I'm losing my train of thought. What was I just going to tell you?
Talk about the RSNs and what's going to end up happening because they're trying to I imagine finding
the streaming. So my wife has been on board with the streaming. It's been a department of where she's at. Has nothing to do with the streaming. It's a whole long story, and I don't want to give too much detail, but the streaming is not going to replace what they thought the streaming is great, direct to consumer. Right. It is great because you can watch what you want, but what a lot of people are doing is I'm going to sign up for HBO and watch this whole series, and then I'm going to discontinue HBO, and then I'm going to go to Cinemax or Hulu or something and watch another show. So the streamers, even though it's convenient, you're not making the money that you would make from the RSN. The RSN was a consistent contract of 60% of your income is coming in. So with all these companies that are streaming now, they're not making the money that they thought because people just aren't paying or the attention span, and especially for sports, you're not going to get probably you would pay the $30 a month to watch the Astros or more. Right. Maybe 40 or 50.
I have MLB now. I went from $9.99 2 seasons ago to $29.99 this season.
Right, ooh. And there's few of you out there. I don't want to give numbers, but there's probably a lot fewer of you 100%. Than people that just happen to have it on their TV at home. And they're like, oh, the Astros are playing. Let me watch the game. And there's a handful. Do you remember when we were CSN? CSN was only available to 40% of the Houston market, and that's what they never got over 40% of the households because they couldn't get the carriage deals because the distributors wanted more than what CSN wanted to pay, or CSN wanted more for them. CSN wanted say like $30 for Dish. Dish doesn't carry any sports, but if they wanted more money than what the distributors were willing to pay, and that started the financial collapse there. Right. This collapse that's happening now is it's been in the making with the media, with the streaming, and then these high player contracts. Because the higher you go up in your contract, the Astros really don't have a lot of real big high dollar overhead, players. Yeah. Verlander was a big contract,
and he's gone.
Who would be there? For a while, Altuve.
I think Altuve is the highest paid player.
Yeah, he was, but he was only
and he's not crazy.
I think
he's
$3
million.
I think it's like $26 million a year.
Oh. And I do want to say, you guys were talking about Javier being the best pitcher. He's a phenomenal pitcher, but Framber's probably.
I think is Framber the one who had the quality starts, or is it? Javier?
Yeah, Framber had the quality starts, and Framber is consistently effective. Yeah. Javier had a great season. He's been up and down, but I mean he's a phenomenal pitcher. But they're all good. Urquidy can be really good.
As you say, we've got a lot of really great starting pitchers that don't have big contracts, that don't have big names, that are just consistent and quality starters.
And our bullpen, the bullpen this year,
huge,
or last year,
That was what was so fun is that you're watching everybody being hurt on the other team, and they're at who's they going to bring in next, the coach. But it was amazing how all these people are ready to go. You can take him at any time. Because I get so mad. I went, why didn't he take him out? There would be one that would start pitching, and he's lost it. He's over. He's got to go. And Sam would say, but. You think you know it, but you don't know it.
A lot of times they have to fight through. It's a mental thing. They're letting him fight through it and get back on track.
But it wasn't worth it because he loaded up the bases and they got so it would just drive me crazy. I'm such an emotional watcher, and Sam said you have no right to be because you're not consistent in watching and you're not consistent in staying through the whole game and all that.
You're going to love it now, Cindy, because the pitch clock is introduced.
Oh, that's so annoying. They're supposed to not even be able. You're not even supposed to be able to see the pitch clock.
No, I think in the opening day broadcast they're not going to have. You can't see it.
I'm going to tell you the worst pitching change of all time. When you think that you're watching a player struggle out there and you're like, why isn't he, what's Dusty thinking? Has Dusty lost his mind? Get him out of there. You see that all the time. The absolute worst pitching change, and everyone who is a baseball fan will tell you, when the Mariners put Robbie Ray in the game against Yordan Alvarez, We knew before the game started. We knew with Robbie Ray in the bullpen, the producer of the Houston Astros, Carl, was talking about, they've got Robbie Ray. He's like, there is no way, he used profanity, there's no way that the Mariners are going to put Robbie Ray in any situation in this game. No way at all.
Because they've got his number.
And then to put him in that situation against Yordan Alvarez.
Was it because he was because of left-handed?
There's pitchers that a team has their number. It's like a golfer who you can golf a course over and over, and there's that one hole that no matter what you end up in the lake. You could change your whole body. It's a freak of nature, and Robbie Ray cannot pitch to the Astros, but especially to Yordan Alvarez.
That was
It's a
because
home run every time.
Because Alvarez had not been hitting for a while, and then I guess when he came in,
he struggled.
And then when he took off, because he's built for, it should be so intimidating as for the pitcher when he comes up, because you feel like this guy, if he connects, it's over.
And he did.
And he seems to find a way.
Yeah,
he did. Well, I didn't want to steal your show.
You're totally fine.
Wait a minute. It's not her show.
Well, I heard you talking about Barnable or something.
I've lost
When
all
she said that, I
credibility.
go, is there a Barnaby?
But then you said it's North Texas.
Well, I think of Bailey's or it's Bally's. I think of the Rangers because when
They
I
are,
I wanted to watch the Astros play the Rangers, I had to go to find the Bally's channel opposed to the Astros
they're the
channel.
Padres. There's 17 of them, I think. Maybe 14. There might be 17. But they have all the Midwestern teams. They also, though they don't own Yes Network, my wife deals with the distribution of Yes Network. That's when the red bat phone goes off.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
you.
she was saying one night, it was bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, like 2 men on. The Yankees are down by a run with Aaron Judge comes up to the plate and he gets locked in, and then the signal went black.
And they're going,
Yes, in New York. Yes, in New York.
In New York, I can't imagine
So
the
they
cursing
start-
that went on during that time.
Yeah.
So
I want to ask this real quick, Cindy. Have y'all seen the deal with MLS and Apple?
Yeah, that's a tragic thing because I don't know how much soccer you follow, but
very much, but-
Glenn Davis and Eddie Robinson were the Dynamo announcers, and they're phenomenal. They are two of the most
They are
professional,
fantastic.
Yeah.
dedicated broadcasters in sports. Knowledgeable. Glenn he has a radio show too, Soccer Matters. He puts so much into that broadcast, and then when they went to Apple, that's just it. They're done broadcasting.
Yeah, it's interesting reading about the full details of the deals. So, Cindy, imagine baseball. All the teams are on this one streaming service, and the streaming service goes, well, we're going to put our own announcers in play-by-play.
and they don't know people.
But I
and they
will,
don't-
I
that's
will
the
say,
thing you don't know.
I will say though, I like it because the Dynamo always got blacked out, no matter where you were.
Yeah.
And it was the most frustrating thing, like especially with like me being a streamer. Even if I had TV, if I was on Wi-Fi at my buddy's house, I couldn't watch it because I was too close to Houston. And it's like, oh, you have to watch it on TV. And I'm like, well, I'm not at my house. I'm on my phone, but I want to put it on the TV. And it says, you cannot do this because you're not at home. And I was like, that's crap. I can watch it on my phone, but then when I want to put it on the TV, it won't let me do it.
Yeah.
So I watched it on my phone, and I was sitting there on the couch like, this is great. And but now you don't have to because all the games are never blacked out, which I think baseball has that big problem. But
this
you have
question,
that problem on MLB. I have that problem on MLB Network. If we're,
this is my question. I have a question.
yeah,
Um,
it's your show.
is what?
We'll get back to you.
I'm just trying to figure out. My husband has to go through this horrible. It's so complicated to watch the Astros because he has Dish, and so my son comes over and hooks up his computer with it and is bringing in the MLB. I don't know which one he's watching it on, but he finally gets it, and then they change up everything, and he can't see it, and this is all our entertainment is during the baseball season is the Astros, and so we were just so happy that they got into the playoffs so that we could see
you
them
watch
on
them on
regular
TV?
TV. Yeah, on regular TV.
Well,
And so,
it's-
is this going to make it so difficult now?
Yes.
for us to find a
Well,
place to watch.
the reality is we don't know what it's going to be. You
have
might
no
be
idea.
watching the Astros on the WB or My 45.
Yeah.
You could be watching them on the ABC affiliate or
Apple.
Apple, or what's the other one? Amazon. Amazon. A lot of people said Amazon needs to, and this is what I've always said. If this happens, Amazon needs to become one group, not Netflix, but if Amazon were to become the Walmart of broadcasting, when you walk into Walmart, you've got your sports section, you've got your, the reality section, you've got your music show section. And if you go to Amazon and you're just going to check out, that's how it should have been, not necessarily the a la carte, but it should have been, I'm going into Amazon and I'm going to purchase the Astros for the season. Or I'm going to purchase, a series. We don't get a chance to watch a whole lot of series, so I don't know what's popular. But like Yellowstone, I'm going to purchase Yellowstone. That's what would really solve a lot of problems. If Amazon were to find a way to, we're going to distribute everything, and not necessarily own it, but just be the housing,
Right.
make a percentage of it. But that way, Disney would retain all their rights. The sports would retain, the MLB would retain their rights, HBO would retain their rights. But you're going into one central location and
find it.
picking what you want.
that would
what you
make
want
it
to purchase and watch.
That would make it easier, but it just seems like because we just cannot find. It doesn't seem like Houston. Whenever I was at Warner Cable, and they put the Rockets on pay-per-view, and it would make people so angry because they were going to have to pay to watch the Rockets.
That's
And they
how,
was like
well,
so
that's how I feel
mad.
about this whole thing is that
Yeah.
when we decided to drop AT&T, we were like, how are we going to watch the Astros? And we had to do research, and we found Fubo, and we could watch them on Fubo.
But it was glitchy, right?
It's glitchy, but we could watch every
Yeah.
game.
We would get calls. We were the broadcast team. But people would call the studio because they were having trouble with their apps. And that's what happens with the streaming is that even Fox and Bally's, you have difficulties with your streaming. Yeah. DirecTV, we got rid of DirecTV. We were DirecTV for a while when we were at Root Sports, and then when we were AT&T, they acquired DirecTV. Once AT&T got rid of DirecTV, we lost. I'm talking as an employee, we had free DirecTV, and once we lost that, we just got rid of it. We were like, we don't need it. But then we got the app, the DirecTV app, which is fine, but it's it's an app. It's not. It's slow, kind of laggy and glitchy. That's what all streaming is you're gonna.
Well, yeah. If I have MLB and MLB sends me updates on as the games are going on, who hits a home run, that kind of stuff, and so it would click on my phone, and then a minute and a half later, we would actually get to see what happened.
Oh,
You
so
were finding out on your
You knew when
phone.
Alvarez hit the home run.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm not gonna look.
Well, we imagine this. Okay, in the studio, we have several elements of the studio going where we have editors. We have now with live television you have the delay, and so some channels we're watching the program feed to make sure that the program feed is good. What we would call the dirty feed because that has all your graphics and everything. The delay, the clean feed is the raw feed coming from the stadium, and they would have that in the back because they were editing. And so we're sitting there, in the newsroom, and you're watching the game, and you hear people in the back. If it's a key point in the game, and you knew what was going to happen because
They're
you'd hear
excited.
people in the back yell,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And it's
"Oh,
coming, it's
yeah,
coming,
so,
it's coming.
yeah. You hear them start cheering. Yeah. But it ruined it. It
Yeah,
ruined
of
the
course
moment.
Yeah.
Of course it did. I just want to know if there was some way you could find out. Is there any deadline on this so that we'll know when we can?
Opening day.
That
I
March
think it's
31st.
it's
gonna be that?
31st.
That's the deadline.
That's the
That's
deadline.
the
find
deadline.
out.
Now let's look at some scenarios here. These are some scenarios that could happen. This is my gut feeling, my opinion. Is AT&T is going to be gone. They're out of the market. Now in the past, this has happened before with CSN. In the past, you would have an RSN failing financially, going bankrupt. You would have another group come in and want to buy that up, and that's what happened with Root. They came in. AT&T got so far behind in the media rights that Root was able to buy the channel for like $500 or something weird like that. I don't think that's going to happen because the RSN model has proven to be financially not
Stable.
successful.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to have Comcast come in and pick up these 3 RSNs. I don't think you're going to have any group come in and buy the RSNs. So I think what's going to happen on the 31st, right now what AT&T is doing is different than what Bally's is doing. Bally's is looking at a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is we're going to restructure our contract and how we're paying for this. And that's going to hurt the MLB teams too. Yeah. The teams need that money, so it's in their best interest to work with Bally's. AT&T is saying you either take these rights back, meaning you take everything. AT&T is saying you take all the equipment, all the people, all the rights, take everything back, and we're out clean. The only thing is that you don't expect us to pay any of the past due rights, or we're going to file Chapter 7 liquidation, which means you lose everything anyway.
Oh,
so...
This reminds me of what a television program could be, is how this is being done. And it would be so fascinating to be in the conference rooms and stuff like that as they're starting to decide who's going to do what. And
that's what they're left with right now. Who's going to do what? Because I don't know. You have a lot of people working at these RSNs. If MLB, this is what's going to happen, and MLB has said, well, we're prepared to take all the games and we'll put them on direct-to-consumer apps. I don't know if they're fully aware, and I don't want to say I might be wrong, but it's a lot of money to do that. There's a lot of costs that go into that. Even if it's direct-to-consumer, there's a lot of costs in production. They're not only losing their media rights, now they're going to have to start paying those production costs, the people, the cameras, the satellites, the transportation, the satellites, everything involved in the production, and we're talking millions and millions of dollars. So you're not only losing your media, your 60% of your income, now that's going out the window to show that. And it's not like this where you just have people sitting there and putting it on YouTube. That might be what it is. They might just have everyone in the first row gets a
handheld camera.
Just do this. But it's a bad situation for MLB, and this is what's going to happen. And I'm saying it right here on the Cindy Cochran Show. The players aren't going to get paid. And what's going to happen when the players don't get paid?
They don't play.
They're going to stop playing. When Manny Machado doesn't get paid, do you think he has anything to prove on the field? He's out there for the money. He's not. He wouldn't have gone to San Diego if he wanted a trophy.
Right.
Oh man.
At least we won't be getting Whataburger ads every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Is that from AT&T?
You don't know
It makes me hungry, man. They had they even had the Whataburger hour or whatever it was.
Well, our whole post game was
it's
Whataburger.
As I'm saying, I was just like, man, they're making me hungry. This is terrible.
I just don't want it to go to Apple. When they did that for I think it was the World Series that they had one game every week or something.
Done it. Yeah, they've done it weekly.
I did not enjoy their people because they had not spent any time with any of the teams. They didn't know regional stats. They didn't know our team. They didn't know how good they were. They didn't
or the players.
They didn't know their names. Yeah. They didn't know, and so that's annoying. As someone who watches and consumes a lot of baseball, it's annoying to me that you don't know who our people are.
And you always feel like during the playoffs, I always felt like
I always wanted to punch Joe Buck in the face.
These announcers,
when he didn't know who our people were.
Yeah.
They're in the World Series,
and you can tell.
Take some time and learn.
Yeah.
Their whole voice, everything goes up whenever you can tell they like this team, this other team that's not us, and we'll just get really excited, and then when Astros come up, and they're okay, and he's coming up in this, and then and there was nothing there, and I told Sam, I said, this drives me crazy. Can't we have our own announcers?
I know. Can Jeff Blum not please just announce?
Well, you had Hunter Pence on Apple, but I don't think that really lasted that long.
They had a woman on Apple, and she was obnoxious.
But so that was an experiment, and I don't think they're doing that again. But their goal was to be the average family that doesn't know anything about baseball that sits down and wants to watch baseball, because that's what the average family does.
Right.
I don't know anything about this show, but let's sit down and watch it. They brought this girl in who had zero baseball experience. zero knowledge, and they thought this is going to be our angle.
Was she really good looking?
No,
You don't see her.
I don't recall ever
you
seeing
didn't
her.
even
see,
see
you
her.
didn't see her.
Oh.
But her
you
every
just
time
see-
she opened her mouth, it was
It
like,
was really
oh my goodness.
for a baseball. If someone is watching a baseball game, and I'll tell you the graphics. You've watched enough Astros games. I was one of the ones who I was putting I was writing the stats, the headlines,
Right.
and you have to figure out how am I going to communicate this to the fans. And when you're writing the graphics, you're thinking, how am I going to communicate this to the person in the bar that can't hear Jeff Blum and
Right.
Todd Callis?
Right.
And what do I want them to know about what's going on? And you try and get real detailed, but the bottom line logic that we were always told is you have to assume someone watching this game knows baseball. So you don't have to
Don't talk down
spell
to
it
them.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to give every little detail. They understand the situation. And for that Apple girl, I don't even know what her name was. The Apple girl was the person that knew nothing about baseball, that if you were doing stats, you would really have to explain to her why there are
Why
3
that's
outs in an
important.
inning.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if there's 2 outs, you have to explain to her why it's important this person doesn't get out.
doesn't get forced out
Yes,
at second base.
yes.
Like, yeah.
Well,
Or-
the pitch
Horrible.
clock's going to introduce a whole
The
world
pitch
of
clock,
trouble.
I like it. I'm a fan of the pitch clock.
Well, I was laughing because in our very first spring training game, one of the guys
Yeah.
got called out because he wasn't in the box looking at the pitcher, and he's like, "But I was in the box," and it's like, "But you have to be in the box
You have
looking
8
at the pitcher,
seconds.
ready
Yeah.
at 8 seconds," and he wasn't.
Do you remember the pitcher that we had that they traded to Philadelphia? Man, we talk about him every year. He was a real small kind of Hispanic guy. We traded him to Philadelphia. This is like in 2014. He averaged about 45 seconds a pitch.
Oh, it's
I
gonna kill him.
forget his name, but he was a good pitcher. He-
But it's gonna kill him. I mean, it's already. Rock Baby is.
I was going to
Yeah.
say the
Is
rock
it-
baby
yeah.
guy. As long as he does
Was it
that,
Ranger Suarez?
and he makes.
no, it wasn't Suarez. He went to, I want to say a C. We talk about this guy all the time.
I'm looking it up.
If you can
Okay,
find his
well,
name.
who's,
Anyway,
who's
he
the guy that does this? That he goes like he gets the ball and he stands there and then he turns and he looks at the and he lowers his body down and looks at the catcher to see what he wants and and then he comes back and it's the weirdest look this guy gets. I don't know what team he's on.
there's a lot of them, but I think you're talking about the Boston. That he was a pitcher for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the
Yeah,
broken
that's
arms.
it.
Mark
Yeah.
Stewart?
No.
Apple? Mark Stewart Apple?
I want to say it was like Caesar or Cantu.
Is he currently pitching?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I know he pitched the last couple of years because we'd come across him every now and then. It's really not that important, other than
Other than that
when
story.
his games were 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And he
because
would
it
only
took
pitch
forever.
3 innings. But he was. But
It
anyway,
take forever.
that's why I like
No,
the
but
pitch
you're
clock
right.
because
I like it, but it's
now I'm gonna talk to you as a employee of the baseball system and you as the fan of the
Right.
baseball system. There's 2 different people watching the game,
Right.
and I'm watching it not only as an employee, whereas I want the game to be 3 hours, be done, post game, go home.
Right.
You want the team to win and all that, but the reason that those games that would drag on and on and on were the West Coast games when you're playing late at night.
when
the
they don't
players,
start until 11 o'clock.
until 9
at night.
o'clock,
Right.
yeah, and then they're going to
That's
11,
true.
12, and then
Yeah.
they have to be back the next morning
'Cause they have a
Now,
day
you,
game.
Yeah, you as a fan, when that game ends at 1 in the morning on your time,
enough.
we would have to be back at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
because the Sunday games, the Saturday night games in Oakland
Right.
would end at 11, and then that Sunday game starts at 2. So those players not only are playing late, but then they're having to get up early.
And
So for
recover. Oh.
the
Yeah.
coaches, the staff, the players, you don't want those long games.
Yeah,
You don't
no.
want those extra innings. And that's why I'm a huge fan of the Ghost Man and extra innings. If you have that run, we
The one that
started
starts
talking
on
about
second
this.
base? Yeah.
Yeah, people are against
love that.
And I think it's great because you're putting innings
You're putting
on your
pressure,
players.
and you're putting pressure on the team to.
Yeah, and it's even. It's
Yeah.
you have the Ghost Man, we have the Ghost Man,
Yeah.
and then it becomes strategy. And I don't remember any game with the Ghost Man that went 12 innings. I really don't. I think there might have been 1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
but prior to that, we would go 14, 15. The Astros went through I think it was
17.
2015.
Yeah,
we had
17.
so many extra inning
Yeah.
games.
It was.
I
It's
went
you
to,
gotta
in
get your money's
2015.
worth.
I went to a game that was 18, and my uncle was in town, which is why this is funny because we went to a game, and he hadn't been to an Astros game in probably 2 or 3 years, and we went to an 18-inning game and he goes, I got to see 2 baseball games in one. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's great, but we've been here for 17 hours. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, there you can be the number one Astros baseball fan, but after 12 innings,
You're like, and
you're
and
done.
our family, it's like you stay. We've paid for these seats, we're staying,
Exactly.
and so we stay until we're done.
Brianna, during the football season, is great to have on, and she was working with a company where she would set up the fantasy football, and all the guys that worked in this would come to her, and they get her opinion and all that, and she'd set them all up so they could all make money, and it was amazing to me. I was like, how do you figure that out?
I
And
was
being
really
a
bad at fantasy
woman,
football this year.
You-
Really bad, because I was completely distracted by baseball.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Completely
that's right.
distracted by baseball the first 2 months, 3 months of it. So it was
Well,
like,
I just think having a woman be that powerful to have the
it has
fantasy
nothing to do
football.
with power. I'm way more organized than
No,
they
but you
are,
had
so
the
that's why I
knowledge.
got the job. To
You had the
do it.
knowledge of it and stuff, and so I want to bring her in again when we get to football again. But Astros, she's a huge fan of the Astros, and I love them. I love everything about them, and it makes me so mad when anybody talks bad about them. They go up north and they're ignored and all that. That just drives me absolutely crazy.
But that's the
joy.
yeah, that's who they
the joy.
are. They have two things working against them: the cheating scandal and the fact that they're good.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's what people
Hate.
are. Yeah,
So they
people hate them because they are good.
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to realize they're good without cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And and we'll argue. They cheated. We know they cheated. I was there. I heard.
We
I
got
was
caught.
right by the garbage can.
Yeah.
But the fact was, the cheating helped them in a very small fraction. It did help them, but their numbers on the road were so much better
than at home.
than they were at
I don't
home.
understand.
It does help if I know, and you know how the cheating worked. The only thing that cheating did for them is told them, don't swing at this. It's probably going in the
be
dirt.
trash.
That's it. Now, is that a huge advantage? Yes.
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 But if you don't hear the garbage can, you still don't know where
Don't
the
know
pitch
the
is
swing.
going.
Yeah.
You still have to be able to get the bat on the ball. You still have to hit the ball. And you still have to run. You still have to manage the game. So they cheated and it helped them, and it's not fair. But the investigation played out. They were punished and all that. But the fact is that it didn't help them at home. They were not good at home that year.
Not good at home.
That's really interesting.
They
'cause
had
you'd
a
think
better
that would
road
be-
record than they
Yeah.
did a home
Yeah.
record that year. Yeah.
And so people are going to hold on to that, and they're rightfully so. They did cheat, and they're going to hold on to that. But I think that if the Astros cheated, won the World Series, and then just faded out, people would have been over it. But the fact that they're continually
still
in your
good,
face,
that
and
we've been
good,
to the
and-
World Series.
and Bregman, Bregman's gonna he's not obnoxious, but he's a little
gonna
arrogant.
stir. He's
Yeah,
gonna stir. If he can stir, he's gonna stir.
And he doesn't even have to talk. He just the way he walks out. He's
that's
stirring.
true. That is
Yeah.
so true. Everybody listening to this show today, the Andrew you see and the Brianna show, I want to tell you, I am so happy that they're there. And I think he even has. Do you have the camera off on me? You've turned my camera.
It's on both of y'all.
It's all on Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are we both doing it?
Y'all are both in. Don't worry. I didn't even.
in it.
You are in my life. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I can't wait to have you and your wife. Listen, you've got to come down here more often. He's so passionate about everything that he does. But you get him talking on this, and now I see where we can get you talking about, anything sports related or Barney related or whatever that we can talk about.
Barnstable.
Yeah, the Barnstable.
That might be the Barnstable Sports Network carrying the Astros.
That's true.
The Barnacle,
This is all
Barnacle
over.
Sports.
Yeah.
Your home of the Houston Astros.
That's
And your
fantastic.
wife's not watching today, is she? No.
He's gonna make her go back and listen.
Yeah, no, she will.
She's in meetings. Didn't you
Yeah,
hear?
she is in a meeting. That's why she couldn't do this today.
Right.
But that's why she was hesitant to come on, because she's not sure legally. Like,
she
they
can
just don't
say.
know
Yeah.
right
Sure.
now. The Bally's, and she's in charge of a lot of people that they don't know either. No one knows. It's a really weird situation. I do feel like Bally's is in a slightly better situation than AT&T. AT&T is, if I didn't say it, my gut feeling is they're gone. They're going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're going to be gone. And I don't foresee a group coming in and
Coming
kind
in
of saving them.
sweeping in.
Well-
If you had to view this as a movie,
Yeah.
it's the end of the Titanic.
The end of, oh, brother. That's okay.
That's why it hurts.
This is his sign for wrap it up, Cindy. Shut up. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on. Really, this has been so much fun and so educational.
Do you
And
have any Celine
Brianna,
Dion music to go out on?
no, don't say that. It's going to be okay. The Astros are going to win
The Astros are
anyway.
gonna be fine.
And we'll get my mattress for free. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much, first responders. We always want to say that we love you, we love you. We admire you, we respect you. Thank you for being there for us all the time. And listen, have fun this weekend. This is starts my weekend. And so you guys enjoy your weekend. Call somebody you love. And Angela, he's a good guy. I don't know. Okay, bye. I love you. We'll see you.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or